welcome to another episode of Cantrips and Cocktails. Woohoo! Woohoo! We will begin this episode like we've begun every episode so far with complete non-structure. No, we will share a drink and a toast. So, Ben, you were in charge of this drink. Tell us a little bit about it.
So, ran across this drink scouring the internet the other day, and it's called a Sangre, which is like the old-timey predecessor to a sangria, even though apparently there's no actual relation to each other. And from what I understand, it's from like the 1750s. Interesting. But yeah, it's a lot of cognac. It's supposed to be port wine, but I just had a Merlot lying around, so that's what I went with. And I made some cinnamon simple syrup to put in it to give it an extra little kind of spice since it's kind of cold outside right now. But yeah. Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Cheers.
Ooh, that is good.
Nice. Makes me think of cheery holidays.
Oh, that's the first one I've made that actually has a cinnamon simple syrup. Oh, I like that with the honey taste.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely very much on the honey side of the
cool.
Cognac. Yeah.
That's nice. That's a good kind of like fall to winter cocktail.
Although if anyone looks up this recipe online, I definitely recommend adding lemon juice to it, because if you don't, it comes across as just like sickly sweet. So you need a little bit of citrus to cut through it a little bit.
What's the name of it again?
Sangre. Sangre.
It's really good.
Neat. It just means blood.
Yeah.
Yay. But very boozy. We're going to be having a look at it.
You should try, if you're going to use wine, use the wine Sangre de Toro.
Fair.
It's a good wine.
Awesome. Well, cheers to our health and longevity. And may your rolls all be natural 20s.
Okay.
Unless it's 5 in a row, and then we put it in dice jail.
Hey, then it's my problem to deal with.
It's a 15.
Well, let's dive into actually playing some Dungeons and Dragons, guys. So, last time we were sitting down and rolling some dice and being some fools. Our three heroes decided to follow up on a contract they'd heard about back in episode 1, which was to investigate talks of some sort of evil spirits or ghosts plaguing those that entered the woods just about an hour north of town. So our adventurers set out just before dusk, actually, heading up that way after doing a little bit of shopping, and arrived at the woods and decided to go ahead and enter. And after about an hour of walking, the forest itself seemed to almost begin to rise in heat and become not stifling, but the timbers are definitely rising, and you guys begin seeing some scorch marks on trees. It was around that time that a fire snake and a smoke method leapt out at you guys from behind you and attacked you. So you guys handled it, took care of them, beat them, but now you guys are kind of stuck where you're about an hour after sunset in the middle of the woods, about 2-hour walk back to town, back to Port Mara. And so you guys have decided to take a brief rest. So it's even gotten a little bit later in the evening to take a short rest. And you guys can now decide whether or not you forge ahead or you attempt to go back to town and get some help or wait till there's more light. So, what do you guys like to do?
You guys wanted to push ahead because obviously we did not actually solve the case, so to speak.
I agree. I don't think that this was the king of the woods.
Oh, you think there's more?
Yes, I think this is more the king's pet.
So I say we noticed the temperature still rising after we.
Yeah, and the whole time that you guys are just coming out of this hour-long rest, not by a lot, but you feel warmer than when you guys first sat down to catch your breath and patch some of those scrapes and bruises that you got from the snake. And the smoke method, there was another one there.
You seem to be more in tune with the natural order of things. Is there anything you can tell from these spicy woods we find ourselves in?
Spicy woods.
Spicy.
That's a great question. DM, would I be able to glean anything
From the spicy wood.
from the spice?
From the spicy woods.
The cinnamon.
Well,
woods.
we can see if you glean anything from the spicy woods. Make a nature check. You're going to look at the trees and the foliage around you, I would assume.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a nature check.
Oh, that's not bad. Nature is +1, so 17.
17. Well, immediately you can tell that the temperature rising and the scorch marks on the trees, it's definitely not natural in any way whatsoever.
Who'da thunk?
But what you're noticing is that you're looking at these trees and you're actually noticing, granted, it's hard to tell because the woods are so massive, but based on where you entered the woods and the direction you guys were hiking, and you guys kept a pretty straight path the past hour that you were hiking, it almost seems that whatever this scorching heat is, it's spreading slowly, but it's spreading out radially. So in like a circle out from a central point.
And we're moving towards that center.
And you guys, it seems like you guys are heading toward that central point. How much farther you have, there's really no way to know. But there just seem you do deduce that there is probably some source causing this.
Okay. Well, I don't know how far we are from the center, but it does appear we're moving in the right direction. If light is your concern, what can I do? I have a couple that'll make light for me. I think I can druid craft a little.
Dear, light is never really a problem for me. In fact, I think I'm possibly a little more suited to aid each other in visual buffs, if you will. Do you two need help seeing in the dark?
I definitely do.
I can see just fine, but thank you.
Yeah, and I would say now, Cain, you all lit a torch last time, but past that torch's light, I mean, it's dark woods. I mean, it's probably about an hour and a half now past true sunset. So, Cain, I mean, it's beyond that torchlight. It's hard for you to make out anything.
I don't know if I cast this on myself or if I just inherently have it and I can cast it on other people, but the Eyes of the Night.
Will you read that ability?
Sure. Let me click on it and get it expanded. So it's a Twilight Domain feature. It says, your eyes are blessed, allowing you to see through the deepest gloom. You have dark vision with no maximum range. You can see in dim light as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. As an action, you can magically give the benefit of this feature to any number of creatures you can see within 10 feet of you. The shared benefit lasts for 10 minutes. You can extend this benefit a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. And you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So I have 3 uses right now.
So
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Since you said you don't need Varis, you don't need.
I've got normal.
Okay.
Elven dark vision.
Okay. Then I'll turn to Cain and kind of just. I guess it's not a touch because it's just within within 10 feet sight. I'll just kind of like do a Jedi mind trick swipe over his eyes.
I like it.
You can now see in the dark.
And now all of a sudden I can see in the dark.
Yep. So, but does that read as like I just inherently have that feature, or I have to use it on myself as well as like benefiting, like giving the benefit?
No. You just have it.
And then I can share it as an action, and that's my the charges.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's how that read to me.
Okay.
Yeah. The action is bestowing it on others.
I can see forever.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just not forever.
And so you can basically give him 30 minutes of that.
Right.
So pretty cool. So your eyes suddenly shift, and it's like in the woods here. It's like it's the middle of the afternoon to you suddenly. Well, out to a certain range, but it's bizarre, and you've never experienced this before, Cain.
No, there's no range.
There's no
no maximum range.
You give it, okay, yeah. So it's just like middle of the afternoon to you.
Yeah, it's just dim light is like bright light, and darkness is like dim light.
That's helpful.
Well, thank you. I immediately kind of snuff out the torch. Did we decide on if we're pushing forward? And because at this point, I'm almost back up at full health. I'm feeling okay. I can swing away, but I don't know about y'all's spell slots.
I'm at full health, and I have 2 out of 3 spell slots left.
I've spent a little, but I have my means still at hand.
You guys want to go smack some shit?
I think we should find this king of the woods and demote him to at least a prince or something.
All right. So, quick point of order, and eventually I want to make you guys remember this kind of stuff, and I won't do it for you. Torch. Now that you can see fine, are you keeping the torch up, or are you going to...
Oh, no, I said earlier.
You did? Okay, I must have totally missed that. My bad. Okay,
Yeah,
well, now I have heard it, and so we can...
We're good.
Okay, so torch has been extinguished, and you guys just want to continue on that line that you guys are walking, kind of center pointed. Okay.
Seems like our best lead.
All right, who is going to take the lead?
Cain will.
All right, Cain.
I'll bring up the rear.
Bang at the rear.
right.
I think that's how you
I'm in the
guys. I
middle.
think that's how you guys
Yeah.
went going in as well. All right.
I'm the squishy.
So Cain, roll me a survival check.
Oh, survival. Oh, God.
Leading the way.
Super wise at a solid 12.
Yeah. If you guys remember too, you guys were following an actual path of scorch. So the scorching is like going out radio, but there was a path that was something else had caused a path to be burned. You don't know what. As you're now into the actual scorch. In truth, and the part of this forest is looking kind of burnt, gnarled. The leaves are dried and brittle. You guys are, you lose that trail. So you do your best to keep on that direct path. You guys walk for about another 30 minutes. So in that time, you do lose your eyes of the night. Cain, what would you like to do, Celty?
If he brings it up, I'll pop it back up.
I don't bring it up, though.
Okay, you keep just walking.
Because I just light my torch and I say, pop it up whenever we actually get close to whatever it is we're fighting.
I would like everyone to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh,
Boy.
oh, so it's getting that hot.
It's starting to.
Natural 20.
All right, Varis, you're all right. You feel okay. It's hot, but you're not bad. Celty.
Ocho.
8.
Yes.
All right. Cain.
22.
22. All right.
Armor's not helping.
Yeah. Celty, the heat is beginning to get to you a bit. It's not horrible, but it's not like you're not taking a point of exhaustion or anything right now, but you do lose just in your kind of your initiative. The next time there is a combat encounter, you have disadvantage on your initiative roll because you won't be as ready.
Gotcha.
So-
A little winded and
Yeah, you're just it's just starting. You know how when you start to get a little slogged down, you're just not as you don't have as quick of a jump.
Sluggish.
So that's going to represent an initiative roll for you next time.
Okay.
So you guys keep going on. 30 minutes has passed. Everyone roll a perception check because I know you guys are kind of keeping your eyes and ears out
Yeah, for sure.
as you're walking. Cain, what'd you roll?
22 again.
22.
22.
22 for Celty.
I get to add 5 for that, so mine's a 14.
14. All right. Cain,
Yes, sir.
you would estimate probably about 50 feet in front of you, behind some very dense foliage where some brambles have kind of intertwined themselves between some branches. You actually see through that with your normal vision. Mm-hmm. You see a glow of what looks like a fire. And you hear these hushed voices making noise like,
Just dump the torch straight into the ground to extinguish it.
Okay.
And I just kind of just point at my head.
As you're extinguishing it, Varis, you walk full on into.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah,
You bump into him. Yep. And about this time, you're hearing it too, but you're not fast enough to stop Varis from bumping into Cain.
Gotcha.
That's just that you just bump into him. It's not there's no like falling down. It's just he bumps you.
Thank God you're tiny.
I'll do the Jedi mind wave.
Okay.
Deal.
So you have Eyes of the Night. So granting Cain dark vision. That's really handy in a party of 3 with only one person who does it. That's handy.
Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was like, whoo.
So you gain dark vision. But yeah, you guys, you're now hearing it too. They've pointed out to you, and you're hearing these kind of, and you're not really sure. Well, hold on, actually.
I speak abyssal.
You do speak Abyssal. Tell me what everyone speaks again. I know this is probably the second or third time. I've asked this.
Celestial, common, and draconic for Celty.
Celestial, abyssal, common, draconic.
Yeah, mine are all like the normal, common, druidic, dwarvish, elvish, sylvan.
Okay, yeah, you guys can't make out what's being said, but you guys do hear this. You see the glow. You see what would be like a campfire through these thick brambles and trees and branches about 50 feet ahead of you.
What are they saying?
I was hoping you would know.
It sounded like but I could get the accent wrong. I'm not familiar with this dialect.
Stop trying to make me laugh.
God, I wish it was like a humor saving throw. I might add that. I might think of a way to add that into the campaign.
Roll for guffaw.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a nice thick wall of foliage in between us.
Yeah, you do.
You said they were kind of like brambles and stuff that were...
Yeah, it's like vines, some shrubs, brambles. They've kind of woven themselves between like a series of trees. It almost makes actually like a wall in front of you, so you guys can't see what's on the other side. And I would say this runs probably about 35 feet in length before it kind of like peters out and it's back to normal like tree distance. But there's just this thickness in front of you, and it doesn't look unnatural. It just looks like this is where this kind of thing has grown up over the years.
So what do you say we sneak up close, try to get a better idea of what we might be going up against?
I think that's reasonable.
If it would help, I could disguise myself as a woodland beast.
Let's wait until we get caught making noise, and then maybe we could write you off as a deer, if that's what you mean.
More or
something,
less.
Or something maybe more hardy than a deer, like a bear, a badger.
Something with CR1 quarter.
Yeah, let's not start doing anything until we need to do something.
Can I see like if there's like a break in this kind of like foliage? If I'm like going to the right or left,
You do see a little bit to your left. You do see there might be an area where it's not as thick, where if you get down on your stomach, you might actually be able to get a line of sight through to the campfire, but you're not totally certain. But that seems like there is a thinner area of this foliage where you might be able to lay down and like see kind of through on the ground.
okay.
But you would have to go prone.
Shall we go take a look?
That or turn around.
Truly, I'm just following you.
I start walking forward. And
Okay, so
I'll point out the like kind of the thin patches in the bramble.
So are you saying that you want to just keep going forward, or are you going to like look?
going to go try to look.
Okay, are all of you going? Whoever's going up to it needs to roll me a stealth check. So I'll let you decide who's going up. You guys can choose to stay back or go forward. But if you're going up to try and get a look through this,
I know
shrub,
I'm going up.
roll a stealth
I
check.
think that from the discussion, Varis thinks we're all going.
I'm gonna hang back a little bit because I'm not stealthy.
Yeah, that chainmail disadvantage.
Yep.
I got a nat one.
Okay, Cain got that one.
Mine is a 9.
Maybe I should have gone.
Celty, you're staying back, and you see the two of these guys start kind of like going up, and almost like an instant from Dumb and Dumber. Cain's tail trips him. Like Cain trips himself with his tail. And as he's going down, he begins to flail, and he pulls Varis down with him. And they go down this humbling heap. These branches, these scorched branches and these brittle leaves just make the loudest rustling sound.
What are you doing?
And you guys all hear a...
Can I try to hide, like in some bushes or something?
Yeah, roll a stealth check.
Yeah.
So while Celty turns to hide, Cain and Varis, you guys see that the brambles are kind of rustling now, like something's trying to like look through them.
For sure.
So I rolled a 19 and an 8. So it's an 8.
So an 8. Okay. Yeah, you stand behind a tree that is thinner than you are. But it's in the dark, so if they don't have dark vision from a far way off, they may not see you.
It's just an oddly shaped tree.
Yeah.
I love how he makes fun of us, but he tries to make you feel better. It's like, it's okay. You might be okay.
Hey, you want to say that again, Mr. Natural One?
Oh, I know. Okay. I know.
So, Cain and Varis, you all pretty much have a round before you think whatever's going to happen. Like, you have a few seconds before whatever's going to happen is going to get through over here. What do you guys do?
Yeah, for sure. Right on, right on.
I'm going to go ahead and pull out my javelin that I got, and then also try to just use my free arm and tail to try to scoop as much foliage on top of me as I can.
Okay.
And attempt to bury myself in the jungle or forest / hide.
Roll another stealth check.
That'd be a 17.
I am going to wild shape into a wolf.
A wolf. Okay. Yeah. So you're a wolf. Okay. So you guys see Varis. He's up on his hands and knees, like he's pushing up. You see him kind of like looking. He's like, you see an expression cross his face, Cain, where he's like, "Wait, what am I doing?" And suddenly, whoom, there's a wolf next to you. But Cain is pretty well covered actually under these leaves. You do see this slight like rise and fall with his breath. Varis, as you're standing there as a wolf, you actually see these brambles, these things actually begin to smolder and burn and peel away as this face comes through. It looks craggy, almost like it's been made out of rock, but you see these cracks in the stone where this orange yellow heat radiates, and its eyes are just a solid pools of like molten magma staring out. It has these teeth, and it makes contact with you and goes back behind itself. You see two more faces push through.
Oh, shit.
And they're just watching you.
Deepest guttural growl I can do.
Okay.
I personally cannot do.
Well, yeah, so the wolf gives this deep growl. Roll an intimidation check for me.
Oh, that's not very good. 6.
6. I'm going to roll something real quick. Okay. You see two of the faces instantly pull back through the bramble, but the one that looked through originally is just staring at you, and it just at you. And eventually it pulls back through as well. Okay. A moment passes. 60 seconds.
I'm readying my javelin to throw it at whatever pops through.
2 minutes. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, but you saw these 3 faces made out of rock, it seemed like, with like cracks in them, and these molten eyes peer through the brambles at you. On the plus side, there are 3 holes now in the bramble where you can look through.
Yeah.
Fair.
How far away is the campfire from where I'm at?
30 feet.
I'm gonna slip up.
I said 50 feet, but I'd say you probably would have moved up by now a little bit.
Right. I just found apparently a very skinny tree.
Yeah.
So Celty's going to kind of try to slip out of her pocket a wand of pyrotechnics.
Okay.
And aim straight at the campfire.
Okay, like through the hole
Through
that's
the
in it now?
bramble, and try to focus on the campfire
and
light.
as you're looking through it, you don't see much, but you see glimpses, and you see these 3 creatures sitting in front of this campfire, and you see them kind of like pushing and shoving each other. Roll a perception check before you do anything with the pyrotechnics, just because you're now that you're focusing through that hole, you're able to see a little something.
You said perception?
Yeah.
10.
You see a glint of red being passed back and forth, and they're almost like fighting over some kind of glinting red thing, and they seem to almost be like vying for who's going to have possession of it. But that's really all you can tell.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cast it.
Okay. All right.
So I think it just makes a...
Yeah, it's just
it's harmless, but I just kind of want to make it as a distraction and see what they do.
You all see Celty go up and point her wand kind of through this hole, and you see this shoot through the brambles, and this some like firecracker cracks happen, and you see these rock creatures. They're really small, like maybe you'd think maybe they come up maybe mid-thigh for a tall one, but they suddenly like wheel about and they look through the holes, and they're just frozen still. Like
I thought I just picked a point 60 feet away, and that's where the...
Oh, that's right.
Originated.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
so,
I wanted to make it seem like it came out of the fire.
Okay. Retract everything I just said.
A rewind.
So you point through the hole, you fire it. This burst of like fire streaks shoots out of the campfire, and they all stop. They freeze. Only Celty, you're the only one who sees this right now. But you then see the one holding this thing that was glinting red shoves it in another's hand. And that one takes it and throws it across the fire. And then there's something like hot potatoing it.
I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Is one smaller than the others, or is it? Or is there, are they pretty
there's
much
one
the-
larger one and two smaller ones.
I'm gonna wait until one of the smaller one has it, and cast it again.
Yeah, and you see it out of the fire.
Yeah.
The campfire, it goes up, and it just drops this stone, this red stone, where it was, and they all just like scoot back away from the campfire and are holding totally still, staring intently at where the pyrotechnics came from, like out of the fire.
I was about to say, as he's doing this, I would like to also scooch forward from my hiding place and get up next to Celty.
Okay. Yeah, you do. They're not even making you guys roll stealth. They're very like they will not notice what's going on behind them because they're fixated on this campfire.
Here's my thought process. I'm going to pull down the mask,
Okay.
cast light on the crown of my head,
Walk
walk forward and cast Sacred Flame on the bramble and try to walk through it.
Okay, roll.
I guess Sacred Flames would be radiant, not flame damage.
But
so
it's there's a searing heat to it. Just roll damage.
just
roll
straight
damage.
up a d20
Yeah.
plus what? Like
No, roll like it's gonna hit it.
oh the
Just roll
Sacred Flame.
the
Okay.
sacred flame damage.
All right, so it's just three damage.
3 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. It comes down and it is light, and now they turn the wheel. You don't make it through, but you've scorched it a bit with radiant light. It still
my
holds,
blade.
but yeah, it'll take you like a couple seconds to get through it. Cain, if you want to help.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
poking at it with my
Yeah, you guys do. Wolf Varis is just watching.
Yeah,
making the grand entrance.
re-angled myself to peer through one of the holes
Yeah,
they
okay, so
left.
now okay. And after a few seconds, you guys make it through, and these rock creatures just there staring as you guys hack your way through the bramble.
Could have just walked around.
I'll in Celestial, I'll just say I'm here for what is mine.
They all look at each other and look at you. They don't say anything. They're just
I'm gonna point with my glaive at the red.
the one that had it last. One of the small
Yeah.
ones goes up and kind of like scooches it towards you.
And yeah, okay. Can I?
I would say it scooches enough to where it's about 5 feet away from you.
So
on the
it's
ground.
like kicking it towards me, or like just
it's on
kinda
its hands and knees, and it just kind of like is like scratching it towards you on the ground, and then
Okay.
it backs away, and the stone's about 5 feet away from you on the ground.
Okay, now that I'm like closer to them, do I know what these things are?
You can roll a nature check.
7.
Yeah, you don't know what these are. No idea.
All right,
But they are made. Their bodies are somehow formed out of rock, and you see the same kind of cracks where there's some glowing heat radiating out of it. One of them is actually like has flames licking out of those cracks. The other two don't. But then you see that one's flames die, and another one's like will like ignite. It seems kind of random what's happening.
okay. Detect magic is a ritual. Shoot.
It doesn't have to be.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can
so-
use a spell slot or.
Can I just make like an Arcana check on the rock, or just see if I recognize like kind of what?
You'd have to go pick it up.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you'd have to walk 5 feet forward and pick it up.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. All right, you pick it up, you examine it, roll an Arcana check.
All right.
You're now about 5 feet away from these magmen. I'm sorry, these things.
5. I'm rolling
5?
so badly.
I was about to say, none
It
of us know
looks
what
to
magnet
be
is.
a very beautifully cut, almost like a diamond, like like the stereotypical diamond pyramid-ish kind of like cut.
Mm-hmm.
It looks to be like that, but it's a beautiful red stone, very like vibrant red color.
Okay. I'll just hold it kind of in my hand and just see what they do. Like, are they just
They're just watching you,
okay?
almost expressionless. But it's hard to read on these creatures. What are the other two doing? You still just watching Varis?
Yeah, I'm ready to leap into action
Okay.
if things start going sideways, but
right.
I will not
I was about to say,
initiate.
I I was going to try to help intimidate them, but they seem to be pretty intimidated right now. So that threw out my idea.
With the light and the smoldering armor. And
I was planning on shooting some lightning, but at this point, it's like, there's no reason to.
That would have been so cool.
Right?
One of them says to you, and looks at you expectantly. It repeats itself. And this time it holds out a little hand towards you. The other two now have,
I shake its hand.
Have now stand
I'm going
up.
to shake its hand.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
And when I do that, I want to flick with my other hand the wand of pyrotechnics at the fire again.
Well, when you touch it,
I'm sure I'm taking some damage.
you take
Oh, that was a bad decision.
6 points of fire damage.
We're level 2. That's a lot. Whew. That's a chunk.
Yep.
Okay.
And it then looks at you, it lets go, and the 3 of these things jump back away from you, and they kind of crouch low.
All right. Like they're aggressive.
They're watching you, but they definitely are no longer afraid of you. Mm-hmm. They were looking for something, and you didn't deliver.
I'm just gonna... I'll cast Sacred Flame on the one that I shook hands with then.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll initiative, and that's where we'll start.
So I'll have disadvantage on the initiative, correct?
Yes.
Oh. All right. 13 for me.
Cain, what did you roll?
17.
Cain rolled a 17. Varis, what did you roll?
That's what I'm trying to remember. Which do I add for initiative?
Dex.
But so that's one that it does take the dex of the
You know what? Fuck
transform.
it. Yeah, let's go ahead and have it take the dex of your wild shape.
Cool.
Why not?
Cool. I couldn't remember if it did or not.
I don't know if it should, but
a little wibbly wobbly.
I'm gonna say why not.
In that case,
You're already the animal.
Yeah.
it is a 15.
15. Someone's gonna tell me that we're wrong. So, all right. Top ode around. Cain. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to just start walking forward with my axe sitting on my shoulder.
Okay, so you walk through and you pretty much see him in like a triangle with the campfire kind of in the middle of them. So there's the one at the head of it, which is the one that's closest to Celty, and then one to your left and right slightly. The one closest to Celty is probably about 10 feet away from you.
Okay, with my movement, is there a way to get in a place where I have them in a line?
No, they're in a triangle. You can get 2 in a line.
I would like to do that, please.
Okay, which 2 do you want to get in a line?
Big and small one. So
Okay,
the biggest one,
you know there's no difference in the big and small one, right?
I did not know that.
Okay,
no.
there's no difference. I was just
Okay, in that
explaining. There's one that was a little bit taller.
You kept mentioning it, so I thought that was significant.
He ate his Wheaties.
Them Wheaties.
Okay, I'll say that you can get the one that is at the point of the triangle closest to Celty, and then the one that would be like to the left of that.
Okay.
In a line.
And then I would like to hold my action, which would be my lightning breath.
Okay.
So if for any of them to move in a slightly threatening manner, that isn't them retreating.
All right, good to know. Varis. Wolf Varis.
Yeah, I think.
Come on, Jacob.
I hate that you made that reference.
I've been watching things.
This is not a
fun.
Twilight
I've
podcast.
been watching things making fun of it. I'm sorry.
Yet. It's not a Twilight podcast yet.
Yeah.
God.
No one has engaged yet. It's strongly posturing.
Yeah, Celty shook a hand and she took some burn damage, but it wasn't necessarily an aggressive action there, but no one is actually engaged yet in like full out combat.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Because I don't have any way to remain hidden and then like pounce in to make an attack.
No, it's
because they're in the middle of a clearing.
Yeah.
I think I'll come out and kind of position myself next to Celty
Okay.
and try and puff up my chest, look real big, but
Okay.
also hold and attack. If they come into melee range,
Okay.
I'm gonna snap at them.
Okay. Okay. All right. So since you're holding an attack, I'm not gonna let you roll an intimidation check.
Yeah.
But okay. But you do your best just to walk up looking tough.
Yep.
All right. And
So they've essentially held their attacks, but positioned themselves within. Okay.
Celty, it's your turn.
Then I'm actually gonna. I will cast Fairy Fire
Okay.
on the three.
They make dex saves, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Very nice.
What's the DC on it?
13. It's not
13.
super high.
Okay, the one right in front of you succeeds. The one that is like the one to the left that would be in a line for your dragon lightning breath fails.
Okay.
And the fourth one or third one, sorry. Okay. Both of the other ones fail. The only the one directly in front of you succeeds. So the other two get this ring of light
Okay.
around them. What color is yours?
It's gonna kind of just that kind of gradient of like sunlight to the sunset gradient.
Okay, cool. And you guys see actually almost like through, because all the objects get this outline of this light around it in the area. So you almost panning in your all's vision from left to right that it goes in that gradient where it starts orange, and by the time it's over on your right hand side, it's purple. To where it's this weird thing where the objects all kind of follow the same gradient across the vision, across your field of vision, and the little motes of light that are flowing there too all follow that too. So it's really orange on your left and these purple lights on your right.
Okay.
Yeah, Celty, that was your action. Anything else?
No, I don't really have a
Okay.
relevant bonus action. So
All right. Well, the little guy that was right in front of you, he sees you cast this, and he freaks out and he jumps at Celty. So, lightning breath first,
Yeah.
then wolf bite.
Dex save for the two.
Yep. What's the DC?
12.
Okay, first guy succeeds.
Yeah, I figured.
The one to the left also succeeds. They both rolled 15s,
That's fine.
but they take half damage, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Which that is total of 8. So 4 points of lightning damage for the bramble.
Okay, yeah, so the one that jumped, it kind of arcs through him. You see where he takes the brunt of it, but he keeps going. The one behind, it's a little lesser damage, but it still takes it and kind of like reels back. You can take your bite attack on it if you wish.
For sure. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna hit on the first roll, but does this trigger pack tactics?
You're within 5 feet of an ally.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's
Yeah.
the creature has to be within 5 feet of one of my allies, and it.
Yep.
The way that all unfolds.
Yeah, because
wanted to be
basically what it
sure.
is it's running at Celty, and you're just to the side of Celty.
Yeah.
So it gets right there, and you're able to use pack tactics.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's less than the first one. So total 20.
Yes, that hits.
Cool. I figured.
Let me think about it.
Who knows? This is a special guy, so
D4. Which is 4 plus 2. So 6 piercing damage.
Okay.
And a DC 11 strength saving throw, or else be knocked prone.
It fails.
Hey!
So yeah, you hit it, and it falls kind of onto its side, onto its shoulder. But the second it hits the ground, you see this fire rage up in it, and it explodes, and this magma and fire goes out from it. All of you were within 10 feet of it. So I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw.
fun.
Ooh, I'm really great at those.
Uh-oh.
Oh, actually, I'm okay with that. Never mind.
Okay.
21.
Succeed.
15.
Succeed.
4.
You take... I'm sorry. Okay, so you fail.
Yes.
6 points of fire damage.
Cool.
The other two of you, 3 points of fire damage. The one that you had hit, the other one that you had hit with your lightning breath, Cain, it now charges in toward you, actually. It's going to run all the way to you, and it is going to... You see its hand burns red hot, and it's just going to try and plant it squarely in the middle of your chest. That's a 13 to hit.
That's a no, and I yell bad touch as he reaches for me.
All right.
Kidding, I don't
And then the other one that you didn't hit with your lightning, it runs up to Wolf Varis, and it's going to try and lay a like magma hot hand onto the side of the wolf.
Yep. Right on.
God, these are really bad. That was a 7 to hit.
Nah.
All right, then you're fine. Cool. Okay, back to the top of the next round. Cain.
I would like to rage, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will be your last rage before you take a
Yep.
long rest. Okay.
I've got that marked down. Don't worry.
All right. No, I'm just making sure that you're aware.
Yep. And then the guy in front of me, I'd like to just smack him in the face with my big old axe, please.
Okay. Sure thing.
That's a 21 to hit.
Yep.
With rage, is it +2 for melee damage on
Yes.
strength weapons? Okay, yeah. 7 points of slashing damage. I rolled a 1 for damage.
It's okay. You cleave it in twain, and I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no, that's every time. Okay.
Oh boy.
That makes sense.
It's the death burst, and so it erupts in magma and fire.
16 for Cain.
Okay, Cain succeeds. Varis.
17.
Okay, the wolf succeeds.
A dex save.
Yeah.
Ocho.
Okay. This time, Celty, you don't succeed, but it's kind of getting you from the backside, so you didn't see it coming. Okay, that is Cain and Varis. You both take 2 points of fire damage.
Yeah.
Celty, you take 4. Varis.
Yep.
Wolf Varis.
Okay. So he cleaved that one in half.
Yep. There is now the one that touched you. Left.
Cool.
The one that hit you.
Cool.
Is left. Or tried to hit you. It missed. Right?
Yep. And it's still right on top of me.
Yeah, it's right there. Close to you.
Ooh. It's probably gonna do it for Wolfie form. But yeah, I'll make a snap at it.
Okay. Go for it.
Is it on the other side of me or is it wrapped around? Okay.
Yeah, it'd be on the other side of you, so you don't get pack tactics on this one.
Just the single roll. Ooh, that's not very good. 9.
9 misses, man.
Bwomp.
Sorry. Yeah.
Thank God.
All right, Celty, you're up. So what you're saying is it's you, the wolf, and then the
thing on the other
thing
side.
is on the other side of the wolf from you.
I am backing the fuck up.
Okay, how far are you going?
20 to 30 feet away.
Okay, so you kind of go back up against the shrub line, and you're on that. You're trying to you're kind of rounding across on the far line of that shrubs away from them.
And then I will cast Sacred Flame.
Okay.
On it.
All right. Do you roll an attack or is that a save throw?
That's a dex save for them.
Okay. Yeah, it rolled an 8.
Okay. That takes 4 points of radiant damage.
4 points of radiant damage. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's still up and kicking.
Okay. We haven't got an explosion yet.
Okay. It's that guy's turn. It is going to attempt to touch the wolf again. That sounds weird. It's gonna.
It really does.
It's gonna try and.
It wants to pet the wolf.
It's going to have its magma hand reach out and try and grab the wolf. We're gonna go. That's a better description. That will be an 11 to hit.
Misses.
Okay. All right. Then yeah, that's all he's gonna do. You can see that it's starting to look really. Stressed would be a good word. Yeah. That its two friends exploded in fiery death.
And this is one of the small ones, right? Or is this
Sure.
the big one? Or is it the big one?
No, it's a small one.
Okay.
The big one was the first one, I guess.
They're all the same.
Anyways, Cain, it's your turn.
How far away from it am I? About 10 feet at this
10
point?
feet, yeah.
What did it look like the radius of the explosions were?
Make an intelligence check.
Okay, fair enough.
Spatial awareness.
Yeah.
Spatial awareness check, yay. You said just straight intelligence?
Yes, sir.
That's not...
I'll even tell you the DC. DC of 12.
Don't worry, I got a 2.
Okay. You have no idea. You were more preoccupied with the fact that you were getting hit with magma.
Fair enough. I will go ahead and back up 10 feet and assume that's enough.
Okay, so to put you 20 feet away from it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to chuck my javelin at it.
All right, roll that attack.
Ooh, that is a solid 12.
That will miss.
Oh. I was like, maybe. Maybe.
Your javelin goes high over it and over the fire and lands off in the woods somewhere. Varis, Wolf Varis, you're up.
It's just you and me, compadre.
Man, this little dude cannot hit.
He's about to bite down on a landmine.
Yeah. I'm
I know that wild shape is tough for those.
Yeah, it's me and him.
Yep.
It
Your allies have backed the fuck away.
I'm the bomb squad right now.
I mean,
So-
you got the extra hit.
Yeah.
You're basically a hit point sack right now. So
I'm gonna make that bite attack.
okay.
Try and sever the throat.
Okay.
That should be a good. That's a 17 to hit.
That will definitely hit it.
Nice.
Yeah. So roll that damage.
Double ones on the dice. So 4 piercing damage.
Man, it looks like it's so close. And it just you're through the wolf form, you're thinking, this guy just won't go down.
Yeah, he's hanging in. Technically, he does have to make the strength save.
yes.
Or get knocked prone.
His strength save, natural 1.
Nice.
So he does fall on the ground.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then it's Celty's up. So this thing, you see this thing fall back on its back after it gets bitten.
All right. So Celty just says, Varis, get away from it. And then she's going to hold her attack,
Okay.
which is going to be Toll the Dead spell once Varis gets away from it.
Okay. Well, it's now its turn. So it's going to use half its speed to stand up. And it is going to try and grab you again.
Oh,
just
boy.
put hands on you
Yep.
and, try and get you with this magma. Dear Lord in heaven above. 9 to hit.
Nah.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
This one has not hit a single thing. Okay. All right. Well,
Just trying his best.
he's just living his best life. All right, Cain, it's back to you.
I'll throw another javelin in, please.
Okay. You can throw another javelin.
You know what? I haven't. This 20 hasn't messed with me yet. Let's see.
Them's cursed words.
16.
That will hit.
Yay! And then I'll do 6 plus 4. Ooh, that's a solid 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay. So
It's still alive.
You, Varis, you avoid these hands, and as you do, you see this javelin just through its head and come out, and it just stands there, and it looks, and you see the eyes go dim, and they brighten again, and it explodes. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I did get out of the radius.
There's a chance.
You did.
There's a chance.
It looks like it doesn't even make
Ooh,
it all the way
that's
to you.
that's pretty good. That's a 17 on the saving throw.
Yeah, you succeed,
There's a chance.
and you take 3 points of fire damage.
Exactly. Exactly what I had.
So it, and you guys see this wolf make this like sound, and suddenly you see Varis just there, and he's just standing, kind of surprised because this is the first time he's ever been knocked out.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
But also like completely unfazed.
yeah. Like you guys don't
No
see
carryover
any,
damage. It was exactly.
You don't see any scorch marks, anything. He's just there, and he's like, what?
I think we did it.
I would like to start walking over to collect my javelins, assuming they're not melted.
Oh,
One of them missed.
the one in the magman is the one that hit it in the head. It's gone, but you can get the other one back.
In that case, I'm down to 3 javelins. Did all of a sudden the ambient temperature start to stop climbing?
It's still just as hot as it was. And all of you that are able of sweating, I don't think Dragonborn sweat, but you feel the heat. But the two of you, Celty and Varis, you guys are sweating.
I'm gonna. Celty's definitely gonna use healing her 2 points of healing hands on herself.
Okay.
I was gonna say, how rough are you looking?
Celty's looking bloody.
Okay. I need to remember this. I think I can use this while I'm shapeshifted. I don't think there's anything that says I can't.
You're not shapeshifted anymore.
Yeah, but I didn't do it earlier because I was like, I'm shapeshifted.
What
I
were you
can't
trying to do?
The balm of the summer court to just dole out those
Oh, yeah.
healing dice. It's just as a bonus action. By spending dice from the pool, you can restore.
Yeah, I would
HP.
say that you can do that in your
So
own shape.
I will give you. You get 3 hit points.
For those of you that don't know,
Plus-
every time Colin rolls a dice, he rolls it and then he holds it for like 3 seconds before he says anything.
It's very dramatic.
It's like an anime thing where they're like, I have hit you. I have struck you down.
And I would like to take out the remaining time of my rage, since I didn't actually physically smack that last one, to just
Oh, your rage would have ended
whenever I hit it.
when you didn't hit it.
for flavor, I'm still
Oh,
smacking.
no. It's if you made an attack. So
Yeah,
you
I made
keep
it.
it. Yeah. So you're fine.
So I'm just taking my axe and I'm just going to town on the wall of brambles just until it cools off.
Okay, yeah. So you guys see for about 45 seconds ish, Cain just wails on this tree.
Is this normal? Do all adventurers do this?
I don't know, but I wouldn't question it.
Fair enough.
Do I make it through one of the trees? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, sure. Yay! There are now 2 holes in the bramble wall that you totally could have just walked around. You guys have defeated these 3 smaller fire elemental creatures. You still have that red stone. You could have a friend look at it since you didn't figure it out what it was.
Oh,
Can
I just ritual cast detect magic on it?
Yeah, that tells you what school of magic it has, right? It is definitely magical. Are you ritualing casting it?
Yes.
Okay, so are you
11.
are you out of slots?
No, I just don't want to use them.
I get that. Okay, so you sit down.
Those
You
did
pull
not
out a
see-
small tome, a prayer book almost that you have, and you open it, and you guys see Celty set this red gem down. That this is the first time you guys are actually really seeing it, and you make some signs in the air, and for about 10 minutes you see her working over this thing. Celty, what you learn is that it is a magical stone, and the school of magic that it has is what you get to pick what color you see or how you determine.
Yeah.
How would Celty
You can use her.
see what it is? I can just tell you what it is, but I like to RP this shit.
Hers would probably just be like a hue of color.
Okay.
With a like vibrancy too. Like so the more like destructive forms of magic would be like real bright, like kind of pulsing reds.
Okay.
Where like the more subtle stuff, like illusion magic, would be like purples and like would be like more like wavy forms.
You see that it almost ebbs and flows, this green light from it, even though it's a red stone, which tells you that it's conjuration magic. That it brings something from somewhere.
Okay. All right.
I don't know, green seemed like life-giving conjure. I don't know. It's not saying that it brings anything that's alive, but it conjures something.
You're the DM, so
Yeah.
conjuration magic is green and pulsing.
To Celty it is at least.
Yeah.
Which, while she's doing this, then doing the casting, I'd come back from my rage spat and put on my broken glasses and just sat there and just pretended to follow along to what she's doing.
Yeah, and you can't really hear what she's muttering very light. Like, it's almost like her mouth is moving, but no sound is coming out of what she's doing. But, so it's conjuration magic, and that's what you learn.
I believe this. While I don't believe that those were the kings of the forest or kings of the wood, this might summon the king, if I had to guess. This is of the conjuration school of magic. But to really know what it is, it might be advisable to take it to Simone and have her inspect it.
We don't exactly seem like we're up for another spat with any more flame entities. So I was going to suggest we go back to town anyways.
You said that the heat has not died down.
No, it's the same that it was before.
I could patch us up a little bit more if health is the worry, but if it's our pools of magic that we draw from, that's a different story. You seem a little like you worked everything out. You're still able to get angry for today.
And I let out a weak little, just like, grrr. No, not today.
I've worked through all my problems for today.
Yeah, let me sleep on it. I'm sure I'll think of something to get pissed off about.
Just wake up at 3.
I now love the concept that barbarians like wake up and we're like, oh, I slept really bad. It's like it gives them the fuel for rage.
We strategically place rocks in our bed
beds.
somewhere.
All right. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, I am feeling okay, but I trust your instincts far more than my own.
I think I'll leave that up to our Dragonborn friend, as I'm no worse off than I was before the fight, except for my health, and I can actually give each of us some temporary constitution, if you will.
DM, does it seem like, since you said earlier the heat was radiating, is there still, from where we are, a direction that we can kind of ascertain from?
I mean, you guys keep walking approximately the same line you were. The temperature was rising as you walked that over the past half hour.
Would it have been a noticeable enough change to where if I just walked 20, 30 feet, I'd be able to notice if it was still getting warmer or not?
Do you want to do that?
I would like to give that a try, yes.
Yeah, you walk about 30 feet out past the campfire, kind of going that same line. And as you hit that 30-foot mark, you do feel that it's warmer now where you are than it was by the campfire even.
Okay, I come back to the group. Yeah, it looks like we have not found the source of what has been happening here.
I'm not making you guys make perception checks for the heat because, like, you would feel that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Makes sense.
Narrative, whatever.
I like that we're just mid-conversation and Cain just, like, walks away.
I feel like it's very in character.
Yeah, that's in character.
It seems we have further along the path if we are wanting to get to the bottom of this full mystery, so to speak.
It might not be a bad idea to go get a good night's rest. Find out what this gemstone is actually about.
Even then, I'm still good to go forward if we take another small rest. It's just more of an issue of, I mean, at this point, me being angry only stops. It helps me ignore some damage, but the fire doesn't quite help with that. So me getting a long rest won't help me too much. It's more, I can go forward. What can y'all do?
Should we go back and purchase that flame resistance draught?
I hate that guy out of just principle.
From Ms.
He is a miserable
Yes,
man.
Ms. the Miserable.
But
Just a shitty little chuckle
nice.
as I push the glasses
Don't know what that was
further up in my
Guys,
head.
but that's
when I named him Mizog, I didn't even think about that.
fantastic.
That's amazing.
I love it. A fitting name.
That's what all the seekers call him at the parish.
But it seems as we press further on into these woods, it could be a useful tool in our arsenal.
I don't disagree.
How long of a trek is it back to town from where we
It would
are
take you
from?
guys about 3 hours to get back to town.
Which would put us at about, what, 2 in the morning?
Midnight.
Oh, okay.
You guys just got to the woods as the sun was setting. So right now I'd say it's probably about 9:30 or so.
How far are we from my little hut?
Like about, if you were to go cross country, 4 hours.
So
Town's a little closer.
Just a
Yeah,
little bit
it's two
closer.
different directions,
Yeah.
but you're closer to
I wasn't
Port
sure if
Mara
some
than you are to your home.
fancy triangulation would get
Yeah.
us a little closer, but Port Mara is probably the better choice
Yeah.
at this point.
I know a shortcut.
Yes, you go down this trunk, and it's a little log flume that we just ride all the way to Port Mara.
I know. Okay, so back on topic. I know me personally, I'm okay with going forward. Is it the best idea? No. But I'm okay with it as long as we take another moment to ourselves. Just because I'm not 100% sure this thing will still be around during the daytime tomorrow whenever we come back.
That's a fair point. Was
And
that
we
a
know
detail that it only pretty much came out at night, or was
There's been no word about that. There's nothing like no detail about that provided.
I just know we're close. And who knows how long it would take for us to try to track this thing down again.
Well, I'm fine if we take a small rest to move forward. Like I said, I can give us some temporary constitution to brace ourselves against the flames to come, but
I also have a small amount of my magical stores remaining. But if the two of you feel ready to press on, then I trust you.
Okay.
well, let's gather around a campfire and sing some campfire songs.
All right, so you guys, after fighting these 3 creatures, you kind of bogart their campfire.
Hey, why let it go to waste, man?
You all sit there for about an hour. You can rest up. Is there anything that anyone would like to do, discuss, anything like that in the hour that you all have. You're just catching your breath, tending to a few bruises and scrapes. You guys have an hour that you can kind of just talk and discuss while you're taking the short rest if you would like.
Celty probably won't bring up any conversation, but she's not going to disassociate from conversation.
Hey, Varis.
Yes?
Varis.
Yes.
When did you start becoming animals?
Oh, well, I suppose the first time was, maybe 3 months ago.
So you have done this before?
At least twice.
Is this, judging by the pause, is this your first time to do it intentionally?
It's the first time I've done it to fight.
Fascinating. Would I have any idea of, druids in the area?
Roll a history check.
Unnatural 1. I rolled a 2 and I got a -1 for history.
With your upbringing, with your upbringing, not really. You might have heard stories once or twice of some dragonborn that live in communities in the woods, and there's rumors that some of them are very attuned with animals. Mm-hmm. You've heard rumors of dragonborn being able to shift into bears or other creatures, but you don't know anything beyond that about what he might be or what kind of magic he uses.
Did you choose a wolf, or did you think wolf, or was it just it just happened?
Yes.
I just write down on a piece of parchment, just yes.
No details about what he asked you.
Nope.
Yes.
He wants to be smart. He just doesn't know how to be smart.
I love it. No, truly, I'm still trying to figure out these abilities that I have been gifted, and it's been an interesting journey.
Ooh. Since you're trying to figure this out, I have a theory. We're in the woods. The chance of the nearest animal around being a wolf is not insignificant. Do you think maybe it has to do with proximity to other animals? If I threw a fish at you and you decided to change, would you turn into said fish?
I don't believe it works that way, but I suppose I could be mistaken. I have turned into a spider before. I don't think there was a spider near me at the time, but I could be wrong. I suppose the first time I tried it, I turned into a seagull surrounded by seagulls. So,
And I just write down on the parchment, just evidence.
Quick point of order, Colin. You did turn to a seagull one time when you were on that boat, and you tried to do it again, but it never happened. It was just the one time, so you don't know what the deal was with that.
So what brought you two to Port Mara?
My story's pretty typical. I'm just here working, so... Varis is the one that probably has a little bit more intrigue. Mine's very boring.
Scholar in search of knowledge, I suppose. Unfortunately, it would seem seeking knowledge that no one cares to share.
I was wrong about the boring part. He's still pretty boring as well. I'm sorry.
What knowledge would that be?
Predominantly the knowledge of the Dragonborn, of what passed in civilizations before the ones that we know.
I just kind of lean back and with whatever I'm sitting and just kind of put my hands together and just kind of glance inquisitively. I don't say anything, just kind of stare.
I had not broached that topic yet, but I'm hoping I can foster some sort of kinship with you and maybe we can work something out.
What are you trying to learn?
Well,
Because that determines all the answers.
from all of the reading that I've done, I seek knowledge of the civilizations that existed before those of elves and man and dwarf alike. And it seems all signs point to Ubiquus and potentially to Optivus, though I do not know much beyond that.
There's a noticeable wince at one of those words.
Yeah.
Just, where have you gotten these readings? Has knowledge of our little continent over here made it that far around the world?
Very seldom. A tome, maybe a few tens of pages thick, was the extent of what I've been able to find. Other than whispers, stories.
Well, from what I can help with is whispers and stories are going to be, for the most part, all you're going to receive on this quest. Specifics are a rarity in these parts. Especially to those who are not privy to the information in the first place.
So it would seem.
In terms of specifics, if you're ever... I will never give you just general answers. If you ask a question that only begets a general answer, you won't get an answer. But if you ask, hey, what's that over there? And you point at something specific, if I know what it is, I will explain. Simple as that.
I appreciate the candor.
I'm also not super well versed on my own people as it is. So, it's also just things I don't know.
Fair enough.
And so with that, with you all sitting around this campfire, middle of the night, even though it is in the autumn, you're sitting in scorching heat, discomfort, as you all prepare yourselves to finish out this journey, whatever that means here in these somehow cursed, scorched woods. We're going to end the episode right there. So, yeah.
Party.
All right, well,
Party.
I'd like to say to anyone listening, thanks for listening. If you're hearing this episode, you've made it 6 episodes with us.
Right?
Which, if we have anyone listening that long, except for us, like, awesome.
This might be our own notepad.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, we started this just because we wanted to play some D&D, and then I love audio production and all that kind of stuff, and I love listening to podcasts. I was like, hey, let's record it and turn it into a podcast. So that's kind of what happened. Yeah, if you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, you can find our handle in the episode description. All right, thanks, guys. See you later.